Hey, what's going on, people? It's Sunday the 7th. Right away, I want to say that if I seem a little arrogant or short to some people, it's probably there, and I own it. It comes with the territory. But I mean no one any ill will. But that's where I'm at. Get a little caustic and impatient with people, dealing with so many people, mostly good, but dealing with ignorance and folks are having problems and want to aim them at me. I deal with it a lot. It gets on you, and it never stops. Folks who message me and on Facebook, thank you, but I'm really not interested in people's playlists or recommending that I look for stuff. I don't. I If you really want me to make sure I hear something, offer to send it to me. And I don't care how that sounds to other people. To me, that's practical. I already have a methodology of how I look for and scour for music. And so when people want to suggest stuff, it's like, send it to me. That's the easiest way. Someone just sent me this big long thing about Anna von Hoswolf. Yeah, I've heard her, and I know about her dad, the avant-garde artist. But what Anna's doing is not my bag, so I don't buy her. I have a friend, the drummer in my band, RAF, is a huge fan of hers. He was planning to travel from Omaha to the coast just to see her, and then something happened, and the tour didn't happen, or something. So that's where I'm at. And tone artification with this book deal, it's like, what's the point? What's your point? I am not a know-it-all. If you think I'm acting like one, well, that's how it looks. But I know I'm not. But I'm not interested in reading about someone else's black experience. I'm not interested in reading about the black experience at all. I'm having it. So if you got something out of that book that helped you, why don't you tell me what it is? It's pretty pure and simple. The other thing is, again, I get annoyed after a while because I'm constantly, read this, look at this, And half the time it's not really relevant to me. It's something that they needed. So what did you get out of that book? Tone artification. Tell me. I'm not being a smart ass. I've said it many times. I don't know shit. So don't come at me with like that. I'm being honest, people. I'm not being arrogant. This is tough dealing with the world like this. And thank you, the world triggered me. All of you folks from all over the world, from Europe to Australia to South America, all over the United States and Canada, thank you for sending me the messages and telling me about the demonstrations and the protests that are going on and the solidarity. Thank you. See, that's the deal. That's why I go on, and I may seem arrogant and angry because to me it's really apparent that the wise position that I'm trying to take is one that there are no sides. And then when you get your head up high enough to look at the landscape, you see, oh my goodness, this is just one ball of existence we're all on. We can't divide it into sides the way we have in our minds, the way we've been divided by people who benefit from the divide. And this is becoming more apparent. I'm going to keep it up because people need to know this. We are divided by those who benefit from the division. It is not for our benefit. It is not for the benefit of mankind. It doesn't promote growth. So these are things that I will be saying. This is where I'm coming from. Musically, yesterday was a birthday. 50 years ago, the album Third by Soft Machine was released. Soft Machine is a very important band to me. When I heard this album, this is the copy. I bought it when it came out in 1970. I've had this since 1970. This really blew my mind. Some people are still don't get it because this was being discussed in music groups yesterday because people were celebrating the 50th anniversary and showing their copies. And some people say they just don't get it. They think it's all noodly. Well, yes, it is. Let the noodles cook in your brain and you will discover something you have never discovered before. And it's the truth. This album is not going to knock you out. But once you enter into it, I have three different copies. It's mind-blowing. This is a masterpiece. It is one of my favorite albums. I have the American that I bought as a teenager. This is a recent Music on Vinyl reissue. And I have a British copy. I don't have an original run on the orange label. But I do have one. I do have a British pressing, a British CBS pressing, which I love having. The whole album, everything about it is just wonderful. So, yeah, I played most of this yesterday. Slightly all the time. Most people, not most people, but Robert Wyatt's Facelift Moon in June. The Moon in June is the one that people go on and on about by Robert Wyatt. But Slightly All the Time is my favorite off the album. I love it. And yes, I do have it on CD when it first came out on CD. I do. I think that's the main thing I played yesterday. I've been listening to Magma over and over again. This music is power music for me. Ka in particular I played yesterday all the way through. This music it's interesting. It's they make up their own language. It's about another planet. I'm not exactly sure what the saga is about, but the way that they sing and play this music, it feels majestic and powerful and empowering. And I find this kind of my soundtrack for the protests now, the way that I feel about the uprising. And that's the word I like to use here in my mind is the uprising. We're rising up. We've had enough of this shit. And I pulled this and played this all the way through. Uprising by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Fantastic music. And I also played Black Unity by Pharoah Sanders. Okay? So speaking of Bob Marley, my good friend Egypt, who's from Omaha, but moved to Jamaica to start a music career, got signed by Bob Marley's Tough Gong label based on tracks that I wrote for her. Seriously. She's back in Omaha right now. I just heard from her. But the CD finally came out that she is on Tough Gong. So I'm gonna be seeing her this week and getting my own copy. So I'm really excited to be able to show this release on Bob Marley's Tough Gong Records with songs that I wrote and produced on it. Very, very pleased about that. Folks, please keep talking to me. I'm listening. And when I do erase and block folks who come over here and are just talk like they don't know what they're talking about, come telling me about my business and you've never met me, is just ludicrous. This happens all the time, and I'm not having it. How ridiculous for someone to come over here and call me a racist, that's just blind. And it's just also, again, someone spouting off at me, and whatever's going on with them, it's got nothing to do with me. So keep talking to me, people. Stay strong. Stay safe. Notice that this whole uprising is completely obfuscated the picture regarding COVID-19. We have our hands full, and we have a mess. Actually, we just have a big mess that we need to try and manage better as a group, not divided. This divided isn't going to work. I'm not sure I understand what's wrong with you folks who are insisting on a us versus them mentality. I really don't understand how you can claim to be intelligent and be living like that. Don't understand. I have yet for anyone to intelligently make a case for it. It always devolves into emotion and anger. That tells you the story right there.